Let's call this meeting to order.
Alderman Stovall. Alderman Williams. Here. Alderman Dennis. Here. Alderman Broadwater. Here. Alderman Floyd. Here. Alderman Knight. Here. Alderman Foster. Here.
Alderman Broadwater, will you lead us in prayer this evening, please?
Dear Lord, we thank you for this time that we come together, Lord, as a city, as a community. Lord, just oversee the dealings of the city, God, and just pray that you would help us to make wise decisions, Lord, those that are honorable for you and all that we do, God. Just pray that you would give people the officer, Lord, that we can direct not all an incident, but pray that you continue to help them to heal, Lord, most of all, thank you for being with them through their activity. God, be with us tonight.
Amen. Alderman Williams will lead us in the pledge at this time.
Everyone stand and pledge. Attention, salute, pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Stacy. I'm going to let you approach the podium and discuss a little bit about the first part of these acknowledgments, if you don't mind.
So Keep Pearl Beautiful, in order to maintain their President's Circle and excellence, circle of excellence in the President's Circle, there are things that we are required to do every year, whether it's our litter index, which is one of the best around, and then of course I have to submit some awards for the Keep Mississippi Beautiful, and we have been so blessed because since 2018 we have won one or two awards every year, and two of those were actually Youth of the Year awards. So this year I nominated Mayor Wyndham for Mayor of the Year for making sure that Public Works stays on top of our litter and ditch cleanup, and he won Mayor of the Year for 2026. Mayor Wyndham, you have your plaque. You want to?
I do. I'll come down. You
Okay.
talk about Miss.
All right. So congratulations to Mayor Wyndham for winning the Keep Mississippi Beautiful Mayor of the Year award. The second award was the Barbara Dorr Green Hero Award. Miss Barbara was the executive director for Keep Mississippi Beautiful many years ago before Miss Sarah took over, and she just displayed a great sense of pride in her community. And this year I nominated Miss Betty Newman. She had no idea that she won until I asked her to be my +1 at the awards luncheon last week. But Miss Betty, she has done so many beautiful things within our community, whether it's in Country Place or the children's garden at the Pearl Public Library. If you haven't seen it, you need to go see it. She also, before the new park was redone, she had the butterfly garden there. If you didn't get to see it, you missed out because the butterflies were absolutely beautiful. She also started Spring Lake Garden Club in 2009. So her heart is beautification and keeping Pearl clean, green, and beautiful. So, Miss Betty.
Go ahead.
Also, as you know, we are working with the Pearl High School Art Department. They are creating our art alley, and they have finished one of the many pieces they're going to do, and we would like to showcase those this evening. But before we do, if I can have Felicia and her art students come up, and her staff that helped. So as you can see on the board up there, that is the first piece of the art alleyway. That is right behind the community center. And I just want to talk about it for just real quickly. We all talk about this being the heart of Pearl. We have the Heart of Pearl sign. I mean, we are really in the heart of Pearl. And so when you created this image and your students all got together and you made the Heart of Pearl part of this mural, it's amazing. So you need to, y'all, I encourage y'all when y'all leave here tonight, please go look at this mural. You'll see in the details, you'll see our clock tower in there. You will see the Pearl water tower there. There's a church and some other things. And so I would just like to say thank you and to your students and your other staff members for this. And I cannot wait to see what else that y'all do in that area.
Hey, if the alderman y'all want to fall in behind? That was very well deserved. I do want to say, like, when Stacy and I, and Stacy can tell you this as well, but when we met with Felicia and we started thinking about, I mean, I'm not artistic like she is. However, we had a vision in our mind, and once we had a conversation with her, I think Stacy would certainly agree, it just took off. So thank you again for all your efforts and your future efforts on this particular project. I appreciate it. Madam Clerk.
Approval of consent agenda items. All items under this heading will be considered to be approved with one motion and one vote. If further discussion is desired on any item, it will automatically be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered as a general business item.
Is there a motion to approve at this time? There's two motions on the floor. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. The ayes have it.
Public hearings number one, consider request by Mercy House for a conditional use permit to allow them to move their current fruit store to a new location at 3201 Highway 80 East.
Brad, do you mind approaching the podium? Gentlemen, you guys can approach the podium as well so we can have a conversation for the public hearing.
Yeah, like I say, Mercy House, they have a current location right here on Bearderman, right there in the heart of Pearl. Like I said, they're proposing, moving locations to the old CVS location.
Okay.
And Mayor, we have some, I don't know if y'all want any of these.
Yeah, please, if you would. Visual aids are always good. Thank you, sir. Just a quick question. How long has Mercy House Teen Challenge been operating in the city of Pearl at your current location on Beardman Road?
About 4 years.
4 years.
22?
Yeah. Okay.
21, so almost 5 years now.
Okay. All right. Brad, everything that's been composed or presented to the board, can you just kind of take it from there, you talking to these gentlemen, and then some of the things that we'd like to discuss? I think we've had a conversation, but certainly want to inform the board of what y'all's intentions are moving forward. Some of our concerns, I think we may have flushed out, but let's just have a conversation about that.
Yeah, but, like I say, when they approached us, you know, they were kind of outgrown the location they're in now, you know. Then when this property come along, that's kind of seemed like it'd be a better fit for them, you know. Like I say, you know, some of the concerns and issues that we had, you know, was just how would they deter, you know, after hour drop-offs, you know, that sort of thing, you know. And I believe that they can answer that more than, you know, they have those answers, you know, how they're proposing to do that.
Yeah, Brian, we appreciate it. If you want me to address some of that, I can, or I can wait for you to.
Yeah, well, and two, I think it's important for the board to know what the organization does for people as we move forward.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're familiar with Mercy House, but we help men and women. We're men, but now we actually just started a women's program that deal with alcohol, drug addiction, or any other life-controlling problems. And most of the people that come into our program have lost everything, and they come in and when we help them for free, and which is really unheard of. And our program is really, it's been effective. It's about a 50% success rate. We're a year-long program. Our men's program is in Georgetown, and our women's program is in Learned. And, you know, what's good about it is that me and Josh are both products of the program. I've been clean now 11 years. My whole life has been changed. And so that's the same opportunity that me and him have. He's been sober for a long time, too. We want to offer that to other people. And the way we do that is through our workforce development things that we have. And one of them is our thrift store in Pearl. And we're excited about being in Pearl. I think y'all been great to us since we've been there. But the store we're in, it's too small for what we're trying to do. And the CVS location is the perfect spot for us to expand. It's got good visibility, and it's going to help us further the mission to help more people.
Okay, now y'all have had the conversation about conforming to C2 zoning.
And like I say, if you know, you had that conversation with the mayor and I in the office, you know, of how y'all have a location with similar zoning in Pensacola.
That's right.
You know, that they're real strict on their zoning and their issues too, you know. I see you got your sign with the donation drop off, you know. Maybe you could kind of just explain them that you won't really see any outdoor items outside at any point in time.
Yeah, yeah. And so Mercy House, we strive, we're not perfect, but we strive to do everything with excellence. We want what we do, you know, our locations to look nice, to be nice on the inside and the outside. And so this is kind of our plan with the signs, and the donation drop-off spot will be something that there's going to be a bell, you know, when you drive over it, and somebody's going to be attending that, and nothing's going to be outside. So one of the benefits of this location is that it enables us to have a drop-off spot conveniently where somebody can drive through. When the bell goes off, when they drive over that thing, somebody's waiting for them, taking their stuff and bringing it inside, nothing outside. We wouldn't even want that. That wouldn't look good for us as an organization. We want it to be clean. And then regarding the night drop, if anybody was to do that, you know, we're going to have cameras all at the entrances and on the outside of the store and also in the inside of the store. And then we're going to put sign, you know, a fence up, not fence, but 2 posts and then the gate right there with the sign on it right there at each entrance to prevent people at night. So whenever we close at 6 o'clock, we put the sign up right there, the chain, and we're going to have cameras there. And so, you know, nobody's going to drive through that fence and hopefully and drop something off. So that's what our plan is to do everything we can on our end to put that up there like you see there in the thing so nobody drops off after hours.
And I think that you've been working with our architect from a review standpoint, like the gate itself, y'all been able to get closer as we move forward. Y'all talked about that.
So I had talked to, me and Brad had conversations, and he talked, and so, you know, really, we think the chain would work. It's going to be better for us financially because it's a big burden taking on this big building
I know
we're going to be here for 10 years, and so we're making a 10-year commitment to be here, which is huge, and there are some underlining costs that we've got to do, but a big gate and a chain, if somebody wants to drop something off, they're going to drop it. It doesn't, I don't think a chain versus a big beautiful gate with columns, with bricks and all that's gonna stop anybody from dropping. If they wanna drop, they're gonna drop, I believe. And so we don't want that either. That's a hassle for us to even have to deal with drop off, people dropping off after hours. And so, I believe with camera system and them knowing this and this being this way, I think it'll be effective. Now, like I said, we can't control the community. If somebody's gonna drop off, I'm sure, but I do think that we're able to monitor it to where it's gonna be effective and will,
And plus, with the ordinance and with us being able to have a sign there that says, well, charges can be filed if you drop something off after hours, I believe that'll help. And, we're open 6 days a week till 6 o'clock. I mean,
Right.
we go open at 8 o'clock in the morning, some are 10 some days, 8 some days. So, we're there a lot,
Yeah.
and so,
and it's potential that we're looking at maybe extending hours to 8 p.m. if we move to a different location too. And so we've just really outgrown the location that we're at, and we want to stay in Pearl. And so we love Pearl, and the customers are great for us. And so they love coming to our store. I have story after story that we get to hear people coming in our store and benefiting from just being in the good environment, also just having something affordable for the community. And so this is probably one of the best locations for us in Pearl that we've been looking for a while. And so we're busting out of the seams pretty much. And so I think y'all understanding that we're taking a huge commitment, even coming here, should show y'all that we're in this for the long haul and with the city.
Yeah, I'm not gonna provide the factual information about on this building, but it is an enormous undertaking that you guys are committed to, because that building's 13,000 square foot, and they're very proud of it. It is a nice building, but it's very proud of it. So you guys are taking a huge financial step to leasing that for 10 years, which I understand the gravity of it. I'm gonna open the questions up to the board.
Where does this drop off? Where is that at?
So it's when, if you're on 80, the face of 80, it's their old pharmacy. So where the pharmacy was, we're going to put,
It's on the front face of the
yes, facing 80, yes, sir. The pharmacy, where the pharmacy window is now, where we're going to put the double doors there, and then when somebody drives up, somebody walks out, takes their stuff, we'll probably have rolling bins, takes their stuff and puts it inside the store. Yeah, straight in the store.
And so we also have a box truck that will be coming into the back, like, I'm sure CVS had 18-wheelers that had to come in and deliver product and stuff to them. So we have a small box truck that goes around 6 days a week through the community, through Pearl, all in the Rankin County area. And so he'll actually back up to the back door to do a drop-off that'll go right in the building. So where you see donation drop-off, that is the drive-through that we're going to take that drive-through window out and put a double door right there. And like Matt was saying, we'll put a bell and somebody just drive up, the bell's going to go off. It's going to be, people are going to access it, and to go straight out to the vehicle. Hopefully, the customer's not even going to have to get out of the vehicle. They're just going to pull up, the bell's going to go off, we're going to unload it, it's going straight in the store. It's not being dropped off outside.
Like, that'll be somebody's, job,
Yeah, that's
like
their
somebody's,
job.
they'll be doing that. Yes, sir. And it comes with some challenges because most of their AC units are messed up in the building, and so we've worked it out with them, but we're gonna have to replace, I think, 3 units over time, maybe 2 to get started, just to open up. And so it's a lot of investment, but we think it's worth it.
But on that note, I mean, obviously, the lease is the lease, whatever they do, I mean, that is them. But the conditional use would run, right? And so if they violate the conditional use, and much like we had one several years ago with the car lot, right? We gave them conditional use, they didn't do what they were supposed to do, and we said, hey, your conditional use is no more. So, I mean, that's with any conditional use, right? So if you say no outdoor storage, right, and they continually violate that outdoor storage, we say, hey, we're revoking your conditional use, and their lease is their lease, that's on them.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, if they're not complying with the regulations you put on them, right, as the board or the city, then you could remove that conditional use because they're violating the terms that have been placed on them.
I want to remind the board too, so part of my duties as being the mayor is trying to backfill buildings that have gone dark. So this building has been a tough one. We've pushed it, and because of the monetary figure that's involved with the lease as well. So we've had a Halloween store come in there, but so in my mind, when I'm thinking about trying to backfill, you guys conform to C2 zoning, but on the flip side of that, for Jerome's current situation, he has that spot in that area. He can also cut that area down and make additional suites so we can continue business development. It's not a fixed building like CVS, which you have to be more unique, you know? He can change his concept there in order to backfill in smaller suites, which will probably go faster than a 13,000 square foot building that's with split blocks. So that's just something to consider when you're thinking about how we're moving forward, how we're placing people within the city, and how we continue to think if we're able to backfill another location because of the fact that it can be remodeled to suit people's needs differently than the CVS location.
Well, no, no, sir, we don't. It's a really it's a difficult spot for a thrift store. Where the way ours has grown, where we're at now, it's been great. Jerome's been great, our current landlord, but it's just not conducive, really. And we made it work, and we're doing the best we can, and we're thankful for what we've had. But this gives us more leeway to be more efficient, I think, and be better for our thrift store.
I don't want to answer this question for you, but I just think this, I want you to know this because of conversation, because that was something we were concerned about. We met in our office. They have several employees that live in the city, and we have made that request like, hey, when you're not in operational hours, please keep an eye on the building, right? When you're going through and monitor, just like you and I do when we roll through neighborhoods or anything like that. I mean, my request to them is to make sure that they're keeping an eye on the building even when it's not operational, to make sure it's clean, because they are in the C2 corridor.
Another thing too, if I speak, just consulting them on the security cameras is, I suggested for them to get the license plate tracker on the camera, so when it's like when they've done something illegal, when it scans the plate, it shoots them an email, and they can be in contact with the sheriff department, police, that can help. Keep tracking down.
Say that again.
It's almost default in their camera system that they use now in the computer file.
Yeah, we use at our, especially our women's campus, we have a decent camera system that's beneficial to have. So what he's saying is it's an upgrade in the current system that we were already looking into. So I don't know what the exact cost is, but to me, it'd be worth it to have it.
We want to go to every measurement possible for the same concern that you have. I promise you, we don't want people dropping off
No.
at after hours. And we're going to do everything in our power to make sure this doesn't happen, like you said. Hopefully you never have to come to us and say, you know what I'm.
Somebody dropped something off,
But I promise you, we're going to address it, and we're going to address it immediately with a professional and do what we need to do to make sure this doesn't happen. Because it's really a hassle on us to have to deal with somebody dropping something off after hours. We want to take it right out of their vehicle and go right to the building. It doesn't need to be outside ever. And so it slows the process of how we work and how we operate. We have a system that our guys go by, and they're trained on how to do it, and so it works really well. And so this location is going to make that system work even better versus where we're at now. We don't have a good designated drop-off place. We don't have any parking. There's customers parking all over the place on the street. I mean, it's, you know, Jerome doesn't, that location just really doesn't have a parking lot. And so it's so many people are donating so much stuff, we've got to have more room. So this location is going to be a great fit for that system to work. And so for us to have a bail, a drop off, and people to get right into it.
100 people. 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 100 people
At the thrift store, what is it, about 4?
Yeah.
4.
Before I ask for a recommendation for the building official, I believe our city attorney reached out to our planner as well regarding this public hearing.
Yeah, I reached out to Gray, who's our planner, right, and asked her opinion, and any reservation. Her response to me was absolutely not. No reservations, right? She said her concern is obviously the outdoor storage, that's expressly prohibited in our in C2 in this corridor. So I think if any motion is going to come from the board, obviously it should include the express provision that we prevent outdoor storage of any kind, right? And I think y'all been adamant about how you're going to rectify it if it does happen, but I think that would be a requirement imposed upon the board. So Grace says her recommendation was approved. She's okay with it. Essentially, she's not telling y'all what to do because she doesn't vote, nor do I. But her suggestion is that she doesn't have any issues because it is the only difference is you meet the requirements of the corridor in a sense because the only thing that you're not doing is selling new merchandise, and that's what the zoning ordinance says. It's retail for new, so that hence the conditional use. And so you meet it aside from it's being resold or it's being donated and being sold, right? So as long as those restrictions would be met, or in that recommendation, if that would be her recommendation, is that the outdoor storage be prevented.
Brad, do you have anything to add or recommendation regarding this public hearing?
I would recommend a little more aesthetically appealing besides a chain to deter, people coming in after hours driving through. I believe Jamie designed a gate. It was pretty elaborate, maybe if we could come up with something, you know what I mean? A little more, just not a chain,
Right, and if I may have one other suggestion, in the fire, bringing in stuff and make sure it's properly, because I think that it would be fire and safety, right? There's an aspect of if you're bringing stuff in that it's properly cataloged and distributed throughout the store. It's not just piled up on one another. And you've all seen dollar stores that they bring in a shipment, it just sits and it's in aisles. That would not be allowed. And because that's the concern too, is if you're bringing this merchandise that's properly set up just for the fire safety aspect.
Yeah, which we would do that. We
do it
run
anyways.
it very, I think, nice for a thrift store, as nice as you can be. And so we try to do that. In regards to the gates, it's a very expensive endeavor to put gates up for things, and we're a nonprofit, and we're already taking on a big thing, taking the lease and the air conditioners and all the stuff that goes along with it. And so the way that we've got the chain with a black chain and a nice post, metal post in the ground, we believe it would look nice, and you're only going to have it up at night. It's and Sundays. It's we believe it'll look nice with the sign that's on it. Because we looked at gates and it was $50,000 to $75,000 for
But I
metal
think
gates,
there-
and that's like crazy.
I think as opposed to concern with the chain too, like what if the guy who comes in that day puts the chain over the grass and sits all day, right? So there's some functionality aspects of the chain, and I think there could be a compromise, but I think Jamie did send some renderings. There could be some type of compromise as to it's a solid structure that opens and closes, that's properly maintained, that looks aesthetic, but it's not so, like you saw the brick column, right, with the full metal
Right.
residential gate type
Yeah.
deal. But something that's more than just a chain.
Right.
Some of these locations, you're not gonna just be able to put a gate, because there's a field, there's Highway 80 on one side, there's a field on the other side, and so, you're gonna either have to have something that closes in and out like this, which makes, you know what I mean? So it's, that's gonna be really pricey. And gate-wise versus a chain being, I tend to go back to, if there's a $100,000 fence around.
I think they're just talking about the aesthetics of it.
Yeah.
The aesthetics of it, yes. The aesthetics of it, which I do understand.
I think where we could, I don't want to get bogged down here in the public hearing. What I think we can do here is, we understand the cost involved, but let us work through, I want the board to feel comfortable and understand that our people are going to do the right thing on our side of things, but try to find the ground here where where it's feasible from a affordability standpoint, but it's also satisfying what our architectural review is. And if the board can speak in objection to what I just said, I understand what their position is. We need something that's applicable and looks nice, but doesn't kill your guy's pocketbook, a $50,000 gate.
Right.
So, well, too, and that comes back to accountability from the organization itself. And the only thing that we could take tonight, gentlemen, is what they've been able to provide so far and what their record has been within the history of the city. So we've not had major amount of issues with their current location. They've been able to provide housekeeping there. So I think that needs to be considered as well as we move forward and the board makes a decision. All right, so just so we're on the same page here, Mr. Attorney, stipulations, we'll go back to that real quick and then we can have a vote.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that the recommendation of the planner would be is prohibit any type of outdoor storage, right? I think the fire safety aspect be proper inside as well, just because that would be a concern. Thirdly, I think what you've heard here is anything that would be architecturally acceptable to the Jamie and Brad and regarding the structure and the location of it to prevent any type of drop-off. And if there is, obviously you stated a way to rectify it, but and then the other would be proper security monitoring, just to make sure, like you said, you don't have it in place here, but you intend to put it there, because that's a sizable investment. You want to protect it as well.
Right.
So,
Any more questions by the board at this time?
No, I'll just say, I think that the location is, you know, what makes it appealing for you guys is also kind of the rub. I think it's, like you said, people are going to, it's human nature. People are going to donate. They're going to drive up at night. They want to unload this stuff. And they're going to, whether it's a gate or a chain. You know, I kind of agree with that. And I think the high visibility of the property, it being up on a hill is kind of is the issue for me. You know, just kind of where it's at, how visible it is. And 5 and 6 years down the road, you know, you've got late night, after hour donations that, you know, just end up being out there. I don't doubt you guys' sincerity or any of that, and I certainly am sensitive to the cause. I appreciate the work you guys do, but it's just you know, it's a location issue, I think, for me.
I just can't see people pulling up, dropping a bunch of stuff off in the middle of the night on the side of the road. I just can't see that happening. I really can't. I really can't.
Do people drop off at the thrift store on Highway 80 after hours?
The Gateway thrift store.
I've not seen it at Gateway.
So, I mean, because we talked to their leadership, they said they never have issues there. I mean, I'm sure there's a on-off here and there, but like they said, it's not, because we were wondering the same thing, and they was like, no, I mean, we have the structure up to prevent it.
They did used to have big issues at Gateway, people dropping off because they didn't have a physical barrier. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You see the pipe gate they got. Well, once they put that up, it deterred people. You know, they couldn't get in. You know, couldn't even get off of 80. You know,
Yeah.
and like I say, Goodwill, you'll see a little bit of drop off down there. You know,
I have seen it down. I have seen it down there.
Right,
Yeah.
that's right.
I have seen it down there.
And like I say, y'all's location, y'all know without a doubt, y'all stay on top of drop-offs where you're at now at the current location, you know.
Which we would do that there, and all we can do is ask you guys, give us a chance, but at the same time, we're not just signing a year lease, so we're making a commitment, we're gonna be in a lease, and so we wanna do everything we can in a reasonable way, to do everything on our end like we just discussed, in a reasonable way, but we can't put $100,000 worth of gates up there. We just can't afford that. So just know that. Now, we can work to do something reasonable, and if maybe that's a gate a year at each spot potentially, or something, you know, that we come up with something that's reasonably priced, I think we could work toward that. But if we're talking about doing 4 entrances at one time, we're just a nonprofit that we can't. It'd be challenging for us. But I'm not saying that we can't work toward eventually having some sort of gating like Gateway has over the course of 5 years or so. Because we plan to be there forever, you know, if when the lease runs out, still be there. So we can do that. It's just to tell us you got to have it done in 30 days or 2 months or 3 months would be difficult financially for us. So just want to make that clear. But we're still 100% committed to making that place look nice, and stay clean. And I'm the executive director. I oversee the ministry, and everything we do, all our facilities look nice. And that's because we take pride in what we do and who we are and what we represent. So if you give us a chance, you know, we'll do it right.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Is anyone here to speak in opposition to this at this time? If not, is there a motion to approve at this time? 2 motions on the floor. All in favor say aye. All right, let's do a roll call. Let's start with Mr. Dennis on his end.
No.
Okay. All right. At this time, gentlemen, the measure has failed on this conditional use. So I know that y'all have done your due diligence, and the board has spoken. So
Thank you, guys.
y'all have a good evening. Moving on, Madam Clerk.
General business number 1, consider in order to adopt section 224 and 225 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pearl, Mississippi.
Mr. Attorney.
So this would be a proposed amendment that no person shall carry into or possess during a meeting of the mayor and board of aldermen any firearm or any weapon, whether concealed or otherwise. This provision is intended to be as extensive as allowed by law, though it shall not apply to on-duty law enforcement, consistent with Mississippi Code 49.9.101. I'm going to read a statement that we're going to attach to the minutes in consideration of the passage of this ordinance. By adopting this ordinance, the city exercises its authority under Mississippi law to prohibit the carry of firearms or other weapons, whether they be concealed or openly carried, from meetings of the Board of Aldermen. This is Mississippi Code 49.953 F1. There's also Attorney General's opinion, Coleman versus Mitchell, which is a 2015 opinion 499090. The city could, by ordinance or regulation, prohibit the carrying of weapons, concealed or not, in meetings of the board and mayor or in public meetings of the city or of its boards, commissions, or other official entities, including without limitation such entities as a zoning board. Thus, the board, by adopting this ordinance, prohibits firearms from being carried into meetings of the mayor and the board of aldermen to the fullest extent permitted. Meetings of the board of aldermen are sensitive places in which firearm regulations are permissible. In our nation's history and tradition of regulating firearms in places where sharp political disagreements take place support such an ordinance. See the United States versus Allen, which is a Fifth Circuit case in 2025, discussing our nation's history and tradition of regulating possession of firearms at polling places, both at the founding and at all times through incorporation. Indeed, much like those polling places, regulation of this historical tradition discussed in the United States versus Allen, this ordinance is a time limited. It only applies during meetings of the Board of Aldermen and serves to protect those engaged in political debate from harm or intimidation. Thus, it resembles those polling place regulations which were applicable on election days and is narrowly tailored to comply with the right to keep and bear arms. It also serves similar purposes to the going armed laws justifying firearm regulations that prohibit individuals from going armed to the terror of the people, insofar as this ordinance protects those engaged in the political process from being intimidated by others carrying firearms. Again, see United States versus Rahimi, which is a 2024 case of it, 602 U.S. 680 and 697 through 98. This is to be construed coextensive with laws, and the City of Pearl adopts this ordinance.
So this applies to everyone except law enforcement.
The ordinance reads, no person shall carry into or possess during a meeting of the mayor or board of aldermen any firearm or other weapon, whether concealed or otherwise. This provision is intended to be as extensive as allowed by law, though it shall not apply to on-duty law enforcement. You are correct.
Any additional questions? This is us trying to implement security in this room. Chief, would you like to talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, I mean, I believe all in our Second Amendment, but I also like to know who's armed and for security measures. I mean, y'all see me move around in the board meeting often, and we've had some pretty heated discussions in here. And just like Chancery Court, federal court, sometimes you go into heated areas, and like law enforcement for the longest couldn't even carry in Chancery Court during divorce hearings and stuff like that. I'm in favor of knowing who's armed, but correct me if I'm wrong, but concealed weapon permit holders could carry it, right?
Pursuant to statute that's listed on the door currently, that is correct. This would change that.
This would change it.
This would change that, right? Because prior to the enacting of this ordinance, there's a Mississippi statute that we reference on the door that says if you have concealed carry with the proper enhancement, you can carry in this room. This would thereafter, if the board accepts this, thereafter, there would be no carrying of firearms outside of on-duty law enforcement.
Well, in my position on it is, I treat this almost like a courtroom. And especially once sometimes, there's a lot of times we don't have people that are emotionally high, but there are other times that you do. And so for me, maybe law enforcement background, I'm thinking like I would rather have something in place and not need it than need it and not have it, right? And some of the preliminary security measures here, I'm trying to protect everybody in this room. And I think it's part of my job. So I agree with the chief, and obviously we want to read this so we can place this into the minutes itself. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion. Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Is there 6-1?
6-1, okay. All right. We come to the portion of the meeting to adjourn at this time. We do not have anyone to adjourn in memory of. So with that being said, is there a motion to adjourn? Two motions on the floor. All in favor say aye. Aye. This meeting is adjourned.
Guest that we have usually once a year, but it is Representative Lee Yancey from District 74, which is the Flowood, North Brandon, kind of into the Pelahatchie area. It's that 25 corridor. He's going to join us today, and we're going to talk about all the little projects and stuff that go on in Rankin County, as well as him being the chairman of Business and Commerce Committee, which is a big deal. So don't run off, because when we come back, we'll bring on Representative Lee Yancey. Be right back.
Here in Pearl, we have Trustmark Park. It seats 8,500 people. It's a great venue that we have here locally. You can catch a baseball game. We have a new team, the Mississippi Mud Monsters, so we're so excited about that. And Trustmark Park, the stadium's been fully renovated. And adjacent to that, we have Bass Pro Shop, as well as the Mississippi outlets that people can come shop and enjoy and have a great time. So it's a good place to come. It's a destination spot for our city. We did a $12 million renovation to our Parks and Rec several years ago, and what we were missing was another key area for our children to come and just be able to hang out and have fun, but also have some playground equipment that was really cutting edge. I've always thought if you can get your community together, then you can have a stronger sense of community. And I think that's what Main Street brings to the table for us. And even though we're a post-World War II city and our architectural doesn't signify a downtown, we're trying to have an area that we create that people can come together and have a sense of community.
folks, welcome back into another edition of This Week in Pearl, where now I am joined by our esteemed guest, Representative Lee Yancey, District 74.
Good morning.
And also Gene Newman, Representative Gene Newman. Thank you for coming in.
Old regular.
Old regular here. How are y'all?
Old faithful.
How are you guys today?
Doing great. Great to be here.
Thank you, Lee, for coming in. I know you've been a little under the weather.
Yes.
Appreciate you coming in.
Too much yelling at the State Ole Miss game last night at Trustmark Park in Pearl.
Yeah, I tell you what, fun times. So tell me a little bit. It's been a year since we had you. It's been a year.
Been a year.
Tell me about Mama and them. How's everything?
Well, we're all doing great. Mama's got a couple of new businesses going, and
Oh, really?
so
What's she up
she's
to?
busy. She and her mom have a furniture consignment store, and now she's part owner in an art gallery.
Really?
So that's keeping her very busy. Plus, we are grandparents, and we have a 3-year-old granddaughter and almost 2-year-old grandson.
Wow.
And she keeps them a couple of days a week.
Oh, my.
And so it is just fantastic. It's a great season of life.
Yes, it is. Now, where's the art gallery? Where is that?
So this is on Highway 51 in Ridgeland, just north of the Natchez Trace.
Okay.
And
So is it just as you go under? Is it right there
You go
on the
under
right?
and you go to the next light, and it's
Okay.
on the left in that little strip mall there. That's kind of the cut-through road to go to Holmes Community College, Jackson Street, I think is what it is. But
Art
the
gallery.
art gallery is called Left Bank Art Gallery,
Okay.
and then Palladian Consign and Design.
Cool.
So if you have a couch you need to sell, or a chair, or a dining room set, we'll help you do it.
Fantastic. So the grandkids are good. Everybody's good.
Everybody's doing great.
Everybody's doing great. Well,